When you think of Dubai today, you probably picture towering skyscrapers, luxury cars, and the world-famous Burj Khalifa stretching into the clouds. But just a few decades ago, none of that existed. No mega malls, no man-made islands, no glass towers lighting up the night sky. Instead, Dubai was a small desert town built around the sea, quiet, modest, and deeply rooted in tradition. So what was daily life really like for the average person living in Dubai before the boom? Let's step back in time. Before oil revenue and rapid modernization, Dubai looked completely different. There were no highways cutting across the desert, no skyline, no marina filled with yachts. Most of the city centered around Dubai Creek, the heart of life, trade, and movement. The buildings were simple. Many homes were made from coral stone, gypsum, palm fronds, and mud. Wind towers, called barjeel, were built into houses to catch the breeze and cool rooms naturally. Streets weren't paved, sand was everywhere. During windy days, dust would fill the air. At night, the city was dark and quiet, lit mostly by lamps and moonlight. It wasn't poor in spirit, but it was simple. Dubai at the time was more village than metropolis. If you were an average man living in Dubai in the 1950s or early 1960s, your work probably revolved around one thing: the sea. Before oil, Dubai's economy depended heavily on pearling, fishing, and trade. Pearling had been the backbone of the region for generations, long before oil changed everything. Men would leave for months at a time during pearling season. They sailed in wooden boats called dhows, diving deep underwater with nothing but a nose clip and lung power. No oxygen tanks, no modern gear, just breath, courage, and skill. It was dangerous. Some divers never came back, but it was necessary. Pearls were one of the main sources of income. Others worked in the small shops, trading spices, textiles, gold, and food. Merchants built relationships across the Gulf, India, and East Africa. If you weren't at sea or in trade, you might have worked in construction, though construction at that time meant building small homes and community structures, not skyscrapers. Money wasn't abundant, life required effort, but communities were tight. This is what a typical day would look like. You wake up before sunrise, the air is still cool, the call to prayer echoes softly through the town. You step outside and the ground beneath you is sand, not pavement. Breakfast might be simple: bread, dates, maybe fish from the previous day's catch. Tea was common. If you were a fisherman, you'd head to the creek before the sun grew too strong. If you were a merchant, you'd open your shop, sweeping sand from the entrance before customers arrived. There were no air conditioners. Summers were intense. During peak heat, many people rested indoors in shaded areas. Children didn't have tablets or television. They played outside, running through alleyways, swimming in the creek, helping families with small tasks. Life moved slower. No traffic noise, no constant notifications, no rush, just daily routines and a community working towards national success. One of the biggest differences between old Dubai and modern Dubai was the community. Families were large and closely connected. Extended relatives often lived near each other. Neighbors knew each other well. Doors were rarely locked. If someone was in need, the community stepped in. Hospitality was extremely important. If a guest arrived, they were welcomed with coffee and dates, even if the host had very little. Weddings were major celebrations. The whole neighborhood would gather. Music, traditional dances, and shared meals filled the night. Religion played a central role in daily life. The rhythm of the day was tied to prayer times. Mosques were gathering points, not just spiritually, but socially. Life wasn't flashy, but it was deeply connected. Some would say Dubai now is the complete opposite of what it once was. Now Dubai is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. People from all over the world travel to Dubai. It has now transitioned from being a heavily Muslim city to now being more progressive, and as a result, it is seeing a large number of non-Muslim tourists. When it comes to education, formal education was limited before the oil era. Some children attended small religious schools where they learned to read and write Arabic and studied the Quran. But many boys eventually joined their fathers in work. Girls often stayed home, helping with household tasks and family care. Childhood involved responsibility from an early age, But it also involved freedom. Kids climbed palm trees, they swam, they explored the desert. Entertainment didn't come from screens, it came from imagination. There were no theme parks, the desert was the playground. Despite limited wealth, Dubai was known for being relatively safe. Tribal structures and leadership played a major role in maintaining order. Disputes were often resolved within the community before escalating. Respect and reputation mattered deeply. Your word meant something. Crime wasn't a daily fear for most residents, but life was physically harder in other ways. Medical care was limited. Diseases that are easily treated today could be serious back then. Modern hospitals were rare. Many relied on traditional remedies. In the late 1960s, oil was discovered offshore. That discovery slowly began shifting everything. Infrastructure projects began, roads were paved, electricity expanded, schools and hospitals improved. When the United Arab Emirates formed in 1971, under leaders like Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, development accelerated across the region. Dubai's leadership, especially Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum, invested heavily in trade, ports and infrastructure, laying foundations for the future. But before all that growth, life was quiet, humble, grounded. Ask older Emiratis today and many will tell you something interesting. Yes, life was harder, but it felt closer. There was less money, but also less pressure, less comparison, less competition, less speed. People relied on each other more, and in some ways that simplicity holds a kind of beauty. Dubai today is one of the most wealthy cities in the world, but beneath the glass towers and bright lights lies a history of pearl divers, fishermen, merchants and families who built their lives from sand and sea. And maybe understanding that past makes the present even more remarkable. If you enjoyed this dive into old Dubai, hit that like button and subscribe so more people can see this. Also, comment down below if you learned something new about Dubai.